there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. I mean, she made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Friday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL 92.5 FM. For the final time with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. This is Denmark's final show on 1010XL. More of that coming up in a moment. But we are certainly glad you are spending part of your Friday evening with us. It'll be an odd weekend, right? I think most of us, if not all of us, certainly assumed that the Jacksonville Jaguars would be doing something this weekend, either a home playoff game or potentially going to Foxborough. Ultimately, it would have been going to Foxborough, but the Buffalo Bills changed those plans pretty drastically. So for me, other than the bye week, it's my first Saturday and Sunday off since Labor Day, which is kind of nice, as a matter of fact. I miss doing the fifth quarter, but I will enjoy being at the house, watching what I think will be really good divisional playoff games, which we will get into in a moment. We'll also talk a little bit about the college football national championship game on Monday night. We will be with you on Monday night right here on Hacker After Dark, but when we come on the air, the game will have just kicked off. So it's our last time prior to kickoff, anyway, to give you our thoughts on Miami and Indiana. So we will do that tonight. Guest lineup looks like this. Ryan Fowler. Ryan's been one of my main NFL draft guys for years. He also has branched out now into the world of college football and is an analyst on the National Football League. He's been with many publications throughout the years. Ryan's going to join me to wrap up the Jaguar season. Take an ever so brief look ahead at the draft class, particularly where Jacksonville is going to pick 4 picks on day 2. And we will talk a little Miami and Indiana. Speaking of the Hurricanes, we will go to South Florida. Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. What is the vibe down in Miami? Not only are the Hurricanes playing for a national championship on Monday night, they're doing it on their home field down in South Florida. So we'll get a scene set, if you will, from one of our main guys when it comes to Miami, Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, also Jordan DeLugo of Generation Jaguar, maybe a couple of more surprises as well. So we're absolutely loaded. We're glad you're with us on a Friday heading into a big NFL divisional playoff weekend. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, and as we've done so for almost the last 4 years, we do give you a big deal of the night. And again, for the final time with Dylan Denmark, let's do the honors.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
2 big deals of the night. First and foremost, let's begin with the NFL divisional playoffs. Got to tell you, I know the sting of Jacksonville not being in these games is going to be tough to see Buffalo tomorrow, and it's really going to be tough on Sunday because Houston at New England, we all thought would be Jacksonville at New England. But that's not reality. Reality is the Jaguar season is over, and we need to enjoy the last, what do we got? The last 7 football games in the National Football League left. We got 4 this weekend, 2 next weekend, and then, of course, the Super Bowl in February. Quickly on the 4 divisional matchups, let's do the NFC first. San Francisco, Seattle tomorrow night. Man, you know, Seattle's cooking, right? I mean, great team. Somebody's going to have to go in there and beat them. Coming off a bye week, you would think they're rested, they're ready to go. And then all of a sudden, quarterback Sam Darnold shows up on the injury report as questionable with an oblique. Now, he says he's going to play. Mike McDonald, the Seahawks coach, very optimistic that Sam Darnold will play. But clearly it appears Darnold is not going to be 100%. This is a San Francisco team that I don't know how they got here, right? No Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner, no George Kittle, no Brandon Ayuk. They've lost a million guys to injury, and yet here they are. After beating the defending world champions last week in Philadelphia, they go to Seattle. Man, I was all ready to pick the Seahawks. I still probably will, but the Darnold injury kind of throws things in a tailspin. Plus, keep in mind, we talk about playoff experience, right? Look at what happened last week here in Jacksonville. Well, you got Kyle Shanahan on one sideline and Mike McDonald on the other sideline. Nothing against McDonald, but as a head coach, certainly as a coordinator he has some, but as a head coach, Kyle Shanahan's got the big upper hand in playoff experience. That'll be a fun one tomorrow night in the Northwest. San Francisco, Seattle, two NFC West teams in the NFC divisional playoffs. Sunday night, Rams and Bears. It's going to be cold. I mean, they are predicting really cold. It's going to be one of those games. And what does that mean when it's one of those games? Well, it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be terrific theater. You got a kid from Texas who played at the University of Georgia and Matt Stafford. I guess a kid. He's a grown man. He's a future Hall of Famer, but the quarterback for the Rams against a younger quarterback that played his college football in Southern California. And before that, in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, Stafford's got a lot more experience in cold weather games. Caleb Williams has the last 2 years, but certainly nothing as pressure-packed as what they're going to be experiencing this year. I don't know. I mean, look, on the surface, I think the Rams are going to win the game. Do I feel 100% confident in that? No. Soldier Field, weird things can happen. You saw last week their comeback over Green Bay. Is the cold weather a neutralizer? Will it harm the Rams more than it does the Bears? I think it's going to be an interesting game. I will probably lean LA just because I would take Stafford over Caleb Williams. But again, I could see that game going either way. Crazy that 4 NFC teams remain and 3 of them are from the NFC West. In the American Football Conference, Jaguar fans, this is where it'll sting. This is where it'll sting, beginning tomorrow in Denver. A place where the Jaguars went in there and won, right? About a month and a half ago. The Jaguars are the only team since October of 2024 to go in there and win. Denver is 13-1 in their last 14 home games. And in comes Buffalo, the team that eliminated your Jaguars 6 days ago. Short week for the Bills. Talk about getting beat to heck. They are battered. They are bruised. But they have Josh Allen. And the question is, will it be 2 weeks in a row that the team with the best player on the field beats probably the better team on the field? I think Denver is probably a better team than Buffalo. More rested at home. Doesn't that sound familiar? Weren't we saying the same thing here last week? But Josh Allen put on that Superman cape in the fourth quarter, and the Jaguars could not stop him. The question is, can the Denver Broncos stop Josh Allen in crunch time when it matters? Because you and I both know that Bronco-Bills game will come down to the fourth quarter. I firmly expect that to be a nail-biter with 5 minutes to go. And then finally on Sunday, Houston and New England. I know Jaguar fans, you were probably planning your trip to Foxborough. You expected this to be you. I'm right there with you. But it's not. It's your arch rival in the division, the Houston Texans, who will not have Nico Collins. Nico Collins will miss this game, which is a gigantic deal for Houston. Now, Christian Kirk is coming off a great performance. Does anybody think he's going to do that twice in the span of 6 days? I don't know. I mean, clearly Drake May is playing at an MVP level. Vrabel's got that defense humming right along. Houston's defense doesn't hold second fiddle to no one either. They are ridiculous. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Derek Stingley, our good old friend Azeez Al-Shaair. That's a great, and I do mean a great, defense for the Houston Texans. Points will be at a premium in Foxborough. There'll probably be some weather there. January in Foxborough. I'm willing to bet it's not going to be 65 and sunny. I know it sucks that Jacksonville's not playing this weekend, but as far as the games go, I like them. I like them a lot. I think if you had to pin me down right now in the NFC, man, I just get a feeling one of those 1 seeds is going to lose tomorrow. I get the vibe that one of those 1 seeds, one of those teams, either Denver or Seattle, that has home field throughout in their given conference goes down tomorrow. Yeah, give me San Francisco and Denver tomorrow. Give me New England and the Rams on Sunday. And if that were to be the case, I think the AFC Championship game will be New England at Denver, and the NFC Championship game will be San Francisco at the LA Rams, which would be quite the scene out in Los Angeles, because you and I both know, again, San Francisco fans would absolutely take over that stadium. I want to get into Miami and Indiana as well. Again, Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, he comes up later on in the program. We'll get a scene set from down in Miami. Not only are the Hurricanes going for their first national championship in a quarter century, but the game is being played down there. Indiana trying to make college football history, obviously, by being the first 16-0 undefeated team. And you look at their wins, right? They would have beaten Oregon twice. They would have beaten Ohio State, destroying Alabama, would have beat Miami to win the title. You add a Penn State whiteout into that mix, they would have earned it. Either way, whoever wins, Indiana or Miami, it is going to be quite the story on Monday night in South Florida. So I want to get into that. But maybe as important, if not more important, I want to talk to Dylan Denmark coming up next. What's the future like for him? It's his final show with us here on 1010XL. He's done terrific work for almost the last 4 years. 4 years, man. We started doing Hacker After Dark in April of 2022. So Denmark just shy of 4 years with us here on 1010XL. We'll do all that coming up. Also, Ryan Fowler, NFL draft and college football analyst, in less than 20 minutes. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us on a Friday evening heading into a big NFL playoff weekend. Hacker After Dark till 10 o'clock right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
He's got his trigger finger on the pulse of Jacksonville football.
Does he have a name?
He calls himself Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brightened by Lee at Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away?
I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller. Hey, pal, is that a turtleneck?
Can't you feel it, Jason? There's a chill in the air, a definite nip.
I mean, it is January.
In Jacksonville, Jason, I didn't come here for cold.
Well, I wouldn't call this.
Cold weather gives me the sniffles. Sniffles turns to pneumonia. Suddenly, I'm in a hospital bed with a tube down my throat because Florida didn't get the memo about ignoring winter.
So switch over to heat.
What if my system can't remember how to heat?
Dude, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air & Plumbing can make sure your system is ready to switch from cooling to heat. We'll clean your heating coil to get rid of that burning dust smell and make sure you have the coolant pressure to keep your heat pump pumping out the heat.
Huh, I had no idea these sunglasses worked in the winter.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
It's January. You turn on the hot water, expecting steam, and you get let down. That's usually a sign your tankless water heater is loaded with mineral buildup, slowing it down and wearing it out before it's time. So Duck Duck Rooter is kicking the new year off strong with a Start Fresh Tankless Flush. Their experienced technicians flush and clean your tankless system, restoring performance and getting you back in the game. Right now, get your tankless water heater flushed and cleaned for just $99, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Make more birdies with pointers from the pros on Brunch with the Tour with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Teed up by Clearwater Irrigation. Tuesday morning at 8:30 on 1010XL.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
So if you guys missed this last night, looks like Liam Cohen has made at least one change to his staff, as Josina Anderson, among others, reporting that secondary coach Ron Milas will not return to Jacksonville. Milas, a veteran coach, right? Started coaching, I believe, back in 1993. He's been doing it a long, long time. And I remember he was kind of an outlier for the staff, because you think of the staff being pretty young that Liam Cohen assembled. There were a couple of different, or I guess older guys, Milas being one, Edgar Bennett being another, but Edgar Bennett obviously has ties here to the Jacksonville area. You wonder if maybe those breakdowns in coverage, quite frankly, last Sunday in the fourth quarter had anything to do with Liam Cohen's decision, but it does appear that Jacksonville is going to be in the market for a new secondary coach. Will they be in the market for a new defensive coordinator? Well, earlier this afternoon, Anthony Campanile did indeed interview with the Miami Dolphins. Miami tweeting out earlier that they have completed their interview with Campanile. Of course, Grant Udinski is being in the Cleveland Brown mix a little bit. But as we said last night, by the way, the Harbaugh thing is not official yet. There appears to be some verbiage that maybe it's been a disagreement. All indications are Harbaugh to New York is still going to happen, but it is not, I guess, officially signed, sealed, and delivered yet. So as it stands right now, there are still 9 NFL head coaching openings. But again, Udinski only in the mix for, it looks like 1, right, with Cleveland. Campanile only in the mix for 1, only been interviewed by 1 team, and that's Miami. Now, 1 interview is sometimes all you need. Ask Liam Cohen last year. He had 1 interview. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the rest is history. But I am surprised that all the talk that both Udinski and Camp were getting coming into this process, and you have 9 openings, over a quarter of the NFL teams are in need of a new head coach. And to my knowledge, only 1 has shown interest in Udinski, and that's Cleveland. And then, of course, 1 has shown interest in Camp, and that's the Miami Dolphins, and they conducted that interview earlier today. Want to get into Miami and Indiana a little bit as well. Ryan Fowler has been one of my NFL draft guys for years. He has recently branched out in the last couple of years to the world of college football and the NFL as a whole. And Ryan Fowler is going to join me coming up here in less than 15 minutes. So Hacker After Dark, we started doing this show April of 2022. That's hard to believe, man. It's been a long time. 4 years coming up for us this April. Have loved every minute of it. And for 95% of those shows over almost the last 4 years, Dylan Denmark has been on the other side of the glass. He gets his proper introduction every night when we do the big deal of the night. He's been a valuable asset to this program, as he has been to Jaguars Today, as he has been to Into the Night with Rick Ballou. Denmark, I've done sports radio for 23 years. Your schedule is second to none when it comes to things you've done with 3 different shows, 6 hours of producing for the last couple of years. Of course, this year you branched out into co-hosting the Gator Bites podcast. You also branched out into hosting or co-hosting with me Friday Night Lights, which we certainly enjoyed. And now this will be your final night on 1010XL, man. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. You know, like this week, I knew it was going to be my last week, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were normal because after the game, the loss, and the Wednesday was the presser, and then it started hitting me yesterday like, oh, this is like the finality of it. But, yeah, we go way back. I mean, I interned with you with XL Primetime back in 2019 in the summer. I was going to my senior year of college. And then when your show opened up, whenever you got your own show starting in April of 2022, I was all over the Boss Man and all over you, like, hey, I'm trying to be a producer. Like, let me get this gig. And you're the reason pretty much why I'm here, I would say, because, you needed a producer, and I was trying to itch my way into the industry and get my way, a foot in the door, so to speak. And that was because you were, the relationship we had from when I was an intern, and appreciate everything from all over the years. And the last couple of years, I kept branching and adding another show. And I just like coaching more, man. Radio's fun. I don't have any bad blood. I still love everybody. Everybody's family to me here. But there's just something about being on the sideline and coaching ball and having an impact on kids' lives. And that's the route I'm going to go the next couple of years.
No, I totally understand that. Totally respect that. We'll get to more of that in a moment. The one thing I'll say about Denmark, and I've told people this if anybody's ever asked me, which they have, about internships and how you get your foot in the door in sports radio. Long time ago in a far-off land named 930, I was an intern under Mike Dempsey when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. And it was like that movie Jim Carrey starred in called Yes Man. The word no leaves your vocabulary when you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. Hey, do you want to produce this show? Hey, do you want to set up this remote? Hey, do you want to go do this meeting? Hey, do you want to go do this site check? I said yes to everything because the first time you say no, they will find somebody that will say yes. And my message as I've gotten older, I've been doing sports radio well over half my life. I'm 42 it'll be 24 years for me in August, which is crazy to think about. And as I've gotten older, I've told anybody that's ever interned at any radio station I've worked at, and obviously here at 1010XL for the last going on 19 years, that same story. You say yes to everything. And in Denmark's case, that's exactly what you did. You came in and you were always here. You were always around. I remember when I was an intern, and Dempsey will probably tell you the story, there were times he had to tell me to go home. I just never went home. I always wanted to be there. I always wanted to learn. I always wanted to have my foot in the door and gain as much knowledge as I could. And that was kind of like you. Now, you started a little older than I was. You were out of college or about to be out of college. But nevertheless, you were always here and you said yes to everything. I mean, good grief. Again, you're working 10 to noon on Jaguars Today and then 6 to 10 every night. Obviously, everybody here at the radio station, the boss man and everybody else included, obviously trusted you with what to do. And I think that says a lot about how people feel about you, the fact that you were asked to do so many things.
Yeah, and this was a dream job for me when I was in college. I used to listen to sports talk radio like all day, every day. Whether it was Clay Travis when he did sports, Colin Cowherd, and listen to you guys as well. Like, I lived it every day, and doing 3 shows every day, primarily talking about the Jaguars. It's you kind of, not that it wears on you, but you kind of just like, I just want to do something different.
I'm not sure if anybody in Jacksonville, Florida, outside of the Jaguar building, knows more about the Jacksonville Jaguars than Dylan Denmark.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
30 hours a week, particularly for the last few months, that's all we did was talk Jaguars when you were in that room.
Yes, and I can tell you about most of the practice squad if you quiz me, but I'm just ready to do something a little different. That doesn't mean that I can't come back and who knows what the future holds. Like, I didn't know I was going to be in coaching a couple of years ago, and Rob Shields was like, hey, my brother needs some help in middle school, and that's pretty much how that started. And then the ball rolled from there. And then with this job, you needed a producer, then it involved 2 other shows, and I'm just ready for something different.
Well, the important thing that you have done is you have not put gasoline on the bridge and burned it down.
And then pull a link.
Unlike some, won't mention any names, unlike some that have worked here in the past that will never work here again, numerous people, as a matter of fact, that have poured gasoline on the bridge and burned it down. Denmark has not done that, which is smart on your part. Tell us about what's next. I mean, for people that listen to Friday Night Lights, for people that listen to this show, they know you're an assistant coach at your alma mater at Baldwin, and you've been doing that for a while. You're also one of the head coaches of the track team, and with football now, this will open up your schedule to do that. And you're also going to start teaching at your alma mater.
Yeah, so track season starts Tuesday. Being a head coach, I did that the last couple of years. And then football, track goes straight into spring football, and then, football doesn't stop, goes straight in the summer and the fall. So I'll continue doing that. And then I'll just be a teacher for the next couple of years. I'll be at the school at Baldwin and see where that takes me. I don't know. I really don't have a plan. Like, people ask, what's your long time? Like, I don't know, man. Like, things change so much, week to week, month to month. It's really hard to sit there and say, what's your 2-year plan, what you want to do. But for the time being, I'm going to teach and I'm going to coach some ball out there.
Well, we're certainly going to miss you again. I got to find new co-hosts for Gator Bites. Won't let the cat out of the bag just yet on that one, Denmark, although I think we have a direction as to where we're going there. And obviously, Friday Night Lights, Aaron Williams is going to take over producing into the night and Hacker After Dark. So we're looking forward to welcoming Aaron in, who's now been with the station for a few months. He will start with us Monday night at 8 o'clock, but I will certainly miss Dylan Denmark. There is no doubt about that. Denmark, on your final night, let's preview Miami and Indiana, the college football national championship game. Hey, at least you'll get to watch that, right? You won't have to worry about doing this. You'll be able to watch that on Monday night. Like I've said, man, Indiana's looking to be the first team to go 16-0. I think it would be one of the biggest stories in the history of college football if the flipping Indiana Hoosiers go 16-0 and win the national championship. And then across the field, Miami, what a story it would be for Mario Cristobal in year 4 to take his alma mater back to the top of the college football mountain. And from a local standpoint, You got Carson Beck, former quarterback at Mandarin, trying to win a college football national championship after taking Mandarin to a high school state title. So there are storylines abound on both sides, and the intrigue of it all is the game is going to be played on Miami's home field on Monday night.
Yeah, Indiana is one of the biggest favorites in the college football history in the last 30 years. The line's now 8.5. The last I saw this morning. Indiana's the better team. I don't know if they win by 8 points or 9 points. They're just so well coached. Like, they don't. You watch them play. I just don't see any flaws from them. Miami's got the NFL talent that you're going to see guys get drafted. I can't get over Miami dominated Ole Miss for 3 quarters, and Ole Miss only trailed by 1 point, 17-16 to start that fourth quarter. I think Indiana is going to win. I would probably say a low scoring, somewhere in the ballpark of like a 24-17 kind of game.
If Indiana wins, and I'm starting to side with you a little bit. I mean, they beat Alabama by 5 touchdowns. All right. They wiped the floor with Oregon. They are playing unbelievable football. Now, with that, they're the clear favorite. I mean, there's no doubt they're the clear favorite. Miami can play the underdog role, and we've seen how well that can work for teams. But if Indiana does win the game, and they do end up going 16-0, I mean, the job that Curt Cignetti has done has been talked about. I think it'd be one of the biggest stories in college football. But what would that do to the landscape of college football if the Indiana Hoosiers in 2 years' time can go from not making a bowl game to going 16-0 and winning the national championship?
Yeah, losing 2 games in 2 years. What Cignetti's done, I mean, there's always been very little patience with coaches taking over a new program. What Cignetti's done with Indiana, now teams that are expected to win every year, like LSU and Florida and teams of that nature, there's going to be no patience now, I think, because everyone's going to look to Indiana and say, well, that guy did it at that kind of program. Why can't we do it here? And the leash has always been short. I think it's now going to be shorter.
Yeah, look, I mean, Indiana has done incredible work. And again, you know, I know what some Gator fans and Seminole fans think of Miami and think of Mario Cristobal, but you tip your cap where credit's due. When they lost to SMU to get their second loss of the year, raise your hand if you thought Miami would be in this position. Obviously, nobody did, right? And then you look at what they've had to do in the playoff. Go to Kyle Field in awful weather conditions and beat Texas A&M. Then they had to beat Ohio State. Then they had to beat the upstart Ole Miss team. And keep in mind, all 3 of those games, Miami could have very easily lost with 5 minutes to go. Heck, they could have lost a couple of those games with 2 minutes to go. They've not been blowing people out. That's the thing. If this thing is close in the fourth quarter, I would say advantage Miami because they've been there with A&M, with Ohio State, and with Ole Miss, whereas Indiana has just beat to death their 2 opponents in Alabama and, of course, in Oregon. Bottom line, honestly, when I found out it was Miami-Indiana last week, I wasn't over the moon about it. As I've been thinking more about it, it's kind of an exciting game on Monday night, and we'll be here on the air for it, at least for the first half of the game. Hope you join me on Monday night as we'll kind of follow along with you as they finally decide a national championship, a college football season that began on Saturday, August the 24th, over in Dublin, Ireland, will come to an end nearly 5 months later on Monday, January 19th, deciding the national championship. And by the way, no rest for the weary for Miami. Did you see the news coming out this evening? Remember Darian Mensah, who I talked about, the Duke quarterback?
Oh, yeah.
Who I wanted to come to Florida. He has ties to John Sumrall. Well, all thoughts were that he was either going to stay at Duke or maybe go to the draft. Nope. Word has it that he's going to sign a huge NIL deal with, you guessed it, Miami. Guy had 30 touchdown passes and leading Duke to an ACC championship this year. So it looks like Miami's going to go from Cam Ward to Carson Beck and now apparently to Darian Mensah. But one more game for Carson Beck. That'll be Monday night in the college football national championship. 641-1010, 904-641-1010. Hit us up on the text line. What's your prediction for Miami and Indiana coming up on Monday night? Coming up next here on Hacker After Dark, My buddy Ryan Fowler has followed the NFL draft for years. He's actually been one of my NFL draft guys for years. He has recently, in the last few years, branched out to not only covering college football, but the NFL as a whole. Ryan does a good job, man. Let's talk with him about the Jaguars season. Let's take an ever so brief look ahead to the draft, and let's talk a little Miami and Indiana. Ryan Fowler joins me next on a Friday night here on Hacker After Dark. We're glad you're with us. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
There's an energy and drama to play-by-play sports.
This crowd, a big factor.
You never know what's going to happen.
Wow!
Feel the energy on 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
The First Coast Games is an annual team-building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Tom McManus buckles his chin strap as he joins Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl.
I just love a man in uniform.
Helmets and heels. Afternoons 2 to 4. Served by Queen Law Group on 1010XL.
What's up, Duval? I'm Chad Volamic, owner of Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran-owned pool company for over 10 years. We specialize in new pool construction and pool renovations, built on military values, integrity, communication, attention to detail, and honor. Now is the perfect time to start your pool project, so when the heat hits, your pool is ready. As an Iraq War veteran and Purple Heart recipient, pride in what I do is everything. Let me show you the difference in how my team and I execute your pool project with military precision. Call Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Former Russian political prisoner and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Vladimir Karamurza takes the stage at the Center for Performing Arts. Hear his powerful story of courage, imprisonment, and freedom February 3rd. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguar season came to an end last Sunday with that 27-24 loss to the Buffalo Bills, but the NFL calendar keeps moving, right? We're 6 weeks away from the Combine. We're inside of 2 months until NFL free agency decisions have to be made here in Jacksonville. Let's talk about the offseason. Let's review the season that was, maybe a little college football talk as well, with a man that has covered college football and the National Football League for a long time, my buddy Ryan Fowler, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Ryan, how we doing, man?
Doing well, Ryan. Always appreciate you having me on, man.
Hey, Ryan, thank you for the time. All right, disappointing outcome for Jacksonville. We'll look big picture in a moment, but the way I'm telling people this week, and you tell me your thoughts, sometimes you just get beat. And Sunday, I thought the Jaguars played well enough to win. They just, at the end of the day, got beat by probably the best quarterback in the NFL there in Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree. If you're a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, listening to this, you can't help but be excited about the future ahead. Now, I know there's probably some people out there that are saying, hey, look, Trevor Lawrence has been around the block a little bit now. What's the ceiling for this roster? There's going to be some changes, of course, in all three phases of the game. But if you see your structure with Gladstone, with Cohen, and with Lawrence, and the players that you have, people forgot that Travis Hunter is still on this roster. And that's crazy to say because he wasn't out there. That's a guy coming back next year. That's going to be a heck of a contributor. Potential for me, perennial Pro Bowler each and every season in the NFL. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the running back position as well. And there are, of course, going to be changes. But you cannot go into that game or after that game, lose by 3 to the reigning MVP. I know it's at home. I know you wanted to move forward in the playoffs. I get all of that. But you can't help but look towards the horizon, towards 26, 27, and beyond, to say this is a team that's not only going to be competitive in the AFC South, but also in the AFC moving long term.
Ryan, in the middle part of January in 2025, Liam Cohen had just started the interview process. In fact, he hadn't even really yet, because I don't think Balky got fired until like January 20th or so. And no one here had ever heard the name James Gladstone. When you talk about those two men, and add Tony Boselli into the mix as well, how would you assess what that first-year staff was able to do here this year?
I really can't say enough good things, Ryan. I really can't. This is where it starts. You look at all across football, the best organizations in the NFL, it starts at the top. When you allow the football people to do their football jobs, you see a lot of owners around this league talk about, hey, the NFL is it's just really kind of a toy sometimes. It's just a rich guy with a toy, sometimes how it's described for a lot of organizations. But when you allow the football people to do their jobs, you can see the product that you have in the football field. Gladstone, Cohen, Boselli, into the roster of players that you have, and not just names, but players that are coming in and contributing on either side of the ball, whether you're veterans, whether you're young players. There's an expectation that Gladstone specifically has set in the types of guys he wants in the building. And I even look at this running back room with guys like Bashal Tutin and LaQuinn Allen, because if Travis Etienne doesn't come back, those two guys are waiting in the wings. And they're exciting young ball players. So it's not just, hey, you're a headlining veteran for us right now, but we got guys in your rearview mirror that if you don't consistently show up and produce, we're not going to pay you. And there's guys going to be in the building that can actually fill your shoes and potentially outplay you as well. So I really love what they've done this year. And hopefully the NFL is a cyclical cycle, as we know, ups and downs. But hopefully they can keep this thing rolling moving forward in the next 5 to 10 years.
NFL and college football analyst Ryan Fowler with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Ryan, you mentioned Trevor Lawrence. Your thoughts on him as a whole in 2025?
Yeah, I think really the past 2 months, he really impressed me, post-bye week. It's someone that really, I thought, sat down with Liam Cohen. They made things easier with him sometimes as far as rhythm throws, taking care of the football. I know that's, a little bit hard to say right now, obviously, with the interception to end the season, which is unfortunate. But when you take the big picture and you watch the tape of Trevor just in play action, whether he's in shotgun, whether he's getting a little more work potentially under center as well moving forward, I think that's just something when you look at him with the weapons he has on the outside, his ability to understand, hey, I'm going to take this check down. Hey, I'm going to really involve Brenton Strange, who we saw really thrive here in 2025, or then target the long list of players that you have, the conundrum of talent that you have on the outside for him. So I think overall he's already established himself 100% as the best quarterback in the AFC South. And every single time he shows up year after year, I feel like some things improve in his game, even though a lot of people, Ryan, don't classify Trevor Lawrence as an elite in football, some of the superstars that you see in this conference in the AFC specifically. But I think he's as good as anyone in football when he's really on. And we saw that specifically when they won 8 games to end that year.
And look, I want to be clear when I ask you this question. I'm not saying this guy is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jackson Smith and Jigba, but what I will say is St. Brown and JSN did not become the players that they are now until they were given the opportunity to become those players. With that as a backdrop, Ryan, do they have something in Parker Washington?
They absolutely do. And what a find he was in 2023 from the prior regime. Late day 3 pick out of Penn State. And the way he stepped up, I'm glad he came back in that game. That was obviously a big thing in that first half. You needed him back in the football game. The way not only he produces and executes and fits what you want to do offensively with Liam Cohen, but also expands his offensive playbook for guys because he's going to open up on the perimeter long term. You don't know what the future is of a guy like Brian Thomas or some of the other guys behind them in this depth chart. Look at De'Ami Brown as the guy that's a free agent. He's probably gone. But there's other guys that are going to need targets. But for him to go, look back to the back end of the year where really his 3 best games, Ryan, were in the final weeks of the season with Denver, Indy, and then Buffalo in the playoff game. He's showing up in the biggest moments. That's why he's here. That's why he had the role he had this year. And it really showcases, even back to your prior question of Trevor Lawrence, toward how much he trusted Parker Washington to go and make plays inside and out on consistent high leverage downs. And really, I think he's one of the more underrated stories in football. And next year, for those fantasy football people out there, they're going to make absolutely Parker Washington a priority for what he's going to be for this Jacksonville offense for the long term.
A couple of more for NFL and college football analyst Ryan Fowler. You mentioned Travis Hunter, Ryan. You look at Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., all under contract. And then you look on the defensive side of the ball, impending free agency for Greg Newsome and Monteric Brown. That would lead the mind to wander when Travis Hunter's 100% for training camp. Is he more a defensive back in 2026 than a wide receiver?
I think that's the biggest question for the Jaguars this offseason, Ryan, or if not at the top of it. I think that's when you look at Travis and you look at what this roster is right now, as much as I want to sit here and say that he could be a guy that plays, 50+% of snaps on either side of the ball consistently, you have guys on offense and on defense, that can live there in those spots primarily. But I think as of now, if I'm James Gladstone, if I'm Liam Cohen, I'm sitting down with Travis and saying, look, we need you full-time at corner. I know he's a dynamic receiver. He's as explosive receiver as you're going to find in football. That's just the bottom line, the type of athletic profile that he has. But I think right now, if you don't bring back Greg Newsome, I think you should bring back and prioritize Monteric Brown for me. You put him on the outside, just start him out there. You're playing a potential guy that can shut down the third of the side of the field for you. You pay Devin Lloyd to come back in the middle of this defense. You have guys up front. You're really starting to see all 3 levels of this defense come together. And that's really why, for me, it is the biggest storyline this offseason, potentially looking at Travis and saying, look, you're dynamic on offense. That's great. That really puts butts in seats. But we need you at corner 100% of the snaps to limit the offenses in the AFC.
You mentioned Devin Lloyd. If it's a situation of either or, Devin Lloyd or Travis Etienne, would you still go Devin Lloyd to return?
I still would, yes. Green dot in the middle of your defense, the way he played this year was outstanding. He was a favorite of mine. I'm sure a lot of people out there loved him coming out of Utah as well. But just someone that's really a modern-day backer, Ryan, that can play all 3 downs. I feel like he's really come into his own the past couple seasons, even though he got a slow start to his career a few years ago. So I personally would prioritize Devin Lloyd. You have guys really waiting in the wings in Tootin and LaQuinn Allen if you move on from Travis Etienne. And I think the offense would really, from a passing perspective, be able to make up that ground, if you will, if you lose him comparatively to the defensive side of the ball, where you lose your core potentially in Devin Lloyd.
A couple more for Ryan Fowler. You've been one of my draft guys for years, and what's interesting is obviously the Jaguars don't have a first-round pick, but if you really think about it, well, Travis Hunter only played 7 games, and we never even saw Caleb Ransall. So you get both of those guys back. You then still have 11 picks, including 4 in the top 100 because they have 3 third-round selections. Ryan, even without a first-rounder, I think Gladstone could still get some stuff done on draft weekend.
100%. And I think this class, depends on who you talk to, is up in the air as far as the amount of blue chip talent and how quick it falls off as you work into really the teams in this draft beyond your Caleb Downs, David Bailey, Reuben Baines of the world. But as you work into round 2 and 3, I think there's a lot of value here. And I think one thing that's going to be big is really the Senior Bowl in a couple weeks down there in Mobile, where really it's going to be a headlining group of talent. Specific name that I really like for this Jaguars roster is going to be a hybrid player in Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo. Toledo's produced Quinyon Mitchell and Darius Alexander the past few seasons. He is 6'2", 205 pounds, can play low, can play high. If James Gladstone wants another piece, another young piece in this safeties room with some changes that are going to happen at all 3 levels to get even more athletic and more impactful at all 3 levels, Emmanuel McNeil Warren in the 3rd round, as well as Chase Basantis, interior offensive lineman from Texas A&M. Just checking out his skill set recently, Ryan, and what the Jaguars really did up front this year with the guys they had that did a good job. I think a couple of those guys really on day 2 should be the focus of James Gladstone.
And we will certainly have you back on many times prior to the draft. You've done such a terrific job with that for many, many years. Ryan, final question. Not only are you an NFL analyst, but obviously the world of college football. I was going to ask you some Florida stuff, but we'll save that for next time because, oh, by the way, there is a national championship that's going to be decided on Monday night. Boy, the college football season's long, man. It seems like that Florida State game was forever ago, and they're still playing college football. It'll be decided Monday in Miami, ironically enough, between the Hurricanes and the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. Ryan, am I overstating that if Indiana wins to finish 16-0 and become a national champion, that might be one of the biggest stories in the history of college football?
No, I completely agree with you. I completely agree. I mean, Ryan, how long was Indiana a basketball school? It really has been for a long, long time. Always the Indiana Hoosiers. They don't think about football in that state. It's always been basketball. And the job that Curt Cignetti has done is literally something out of a movie script. This is a roster that you've heard about it all year long. There's no 4 stars, 5 stars. There's guys that are 3 stars and below that are coming in that have a chip on their shoulder, that are executing what they want to do on offense, defense, and special teams, and they strap up and they flat out go after you. And that's just what the Indiana Hoosiers are. Now, Miami Hurricanes, Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, experienced quarterback in Carson Beck, one of the top tackles in football, and Francis Mauigoa at right tackle, going to be a top 5 pick likely. Defensively, Ruben Bain, they got some talent as well. And I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game. But when you have the Heisman winner on your side, Curt Cignetti, his ability to win those tight ball games, lead this team through the mud, I think it is already one of the best stories of college football in history. And I think if they finish this thing off, it'll be an undefeated year, really at Miami's house, literally at their home stadium. Would be just an unbelievable cap to a heck of a story, and absolutely have to put the Indiana Hoosiers in 2025, 2026 as one of the best teams in college football.
Hey, Ryan, final question. We got 60 seconds. From a Miami point of view, I always get the question, is the U back, right? We've been asking that for the last quarter century. Well, that question would go away with a win on Monday night. And, boy, what a story that would be for Mario Cristobal to come back to his alma mater and in 4 years' time get them to the top of the mountain, back atop college football.
Yeah, it would be unbelievable. It would be unbelievable. Now, I don't think it's going to have to be on the shoulders of Carson Beck. I think it's going to be on the shoulders of guys like Mark Fletcher. You got to get Malachi Toney involved, one of the most electric freshmen in all college football that we've seen in recent years. Really since, Jeremiah Smith a few years ago, last year at Ohio State. When you look at the defensive side of the ball, all the talent that they have, I even think a couple guys on the back end, really headlined by Keontae Scott, a riser in this draft process, can play nickel, can play perimeter, stopping guys like Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt. Both those guys are going to hear their names called, probably in the top 150 picks. I'm excited to see how this Miami team shows up. This isn't the old Miami when you had 50 NFL talents on one friggin' roster, but there are guys everywhere that they have talent for this group. And I like Mario Cristobal, the way he's going to get these guys fired up. I think it's going to be a 24-21 type of ball game, physical, in-your-face type of football game. Is going to get the ground game going. I'm really excited for this game. And I do think Indiana's going to come out on top and finish this thing off for Curt Cignetti.
The man does a terrific job covering the NFL draft, and the world of college football. My buddy Ryan Fowler. Ryan, it's almost your time of year with draft time approaching. We certainly appreciate you, and we'll get you back on post-Senior Bowl to see how things went down there in Mobile. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks as always, Ryan. Talk soon.
While you were watching the ball, he saw what happened in the trenches.
I'm Jeff Logman.
And he tells you about it every Tuesday. Check the tape. 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Checked by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Happy New Year, taco lovers. Don here from Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach. Football season is wrapping up, but Taco Lou is still cranking out the tacos. If your New Year's resolution is to get back in the gym, remember you can keep the workout going with a taco in each hand or a taco in one hand and a cold Dos Equis or margarita in the other. It's practically my entire exercise regimen. Well, maybe all of it. Anyway, come in, relax, and be ready for a great year. Happy New Year from all of us at Taco Lou.
Hunters know patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-718-4040. That's 800-718-4040. 800-718-4040.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Did you know your roof ages from the inside out? By the time you see a leak, damage already exists beneath the shingles. Sun exposure, humidity, and seasonal storms slowly weaken roofing materials over time. If your roof is 15 years old or more, then now is the time to start planning, not reacting. At Endless Summer Roofing, we provide professional inspections and clear guidance so you can make informed decisions. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com to schedule a free inspection. Endless Summer Roofing, protecting your home from Florida's endless summer.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Your home deserves more than just another coat of paint. It deserves quality that lasts. At First Coast Paint, you'll find premium Benjamin Moore products, trusted advice, and the local experts who help you get it right the first time. Whether it's your living room, your porch, or your whole house, First Coast Paint brings your paint project to life. Stores in St. John's and St. Augustine. One name Jacksonville Trust. Mention 1010XL for 10% off. First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun Sentinel. We will go down to South Florida and talk with Adam about Miami and Indiana, kind of get a scene set from down there in the South Florida area. Again, the interesting dynamic is that Miami is playing for a national championship on their home field. Yet you talk to people surrounding the game and in the ticket distributing community, and there's going to be a lot of red down in Coral Gables, Miami area, the South Florida area. How about that? Hard Rock Stadium. A lot of Indiana fans are expected to be in there. What a game that should be on Monday night. So Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, my buddy Jordan DeLugo of Generation Jaguar, as we take a brief look ahead at the Jaguar offseason. And decisions will have to start being made sooner rather than later. I think you saw the first one made last night. Apparently Ron Miles, the secondary coach, will not return in 2026. So the Jaguars are in the market for a new secondary coach, reportedly. We told you earlier that Anthony Campanile did interview with the Miami Dolphins today. The Dolphins tweeted that out earlier this afternoon, that they had completed their interview with Campanile. Remember, the GM Miami just hired is from the Green Bay organization. Campanile did spend a year in Green Bay and had spent prior time in Miami. So if you start connecting the dots there, we'll see. And then, of course, Grant Udinski, the Jaguar offensive coordinator, reportedly, at least in the conversation, in Cleveland. Now, John Harbaugh has yet to sign his contract. So as it stands right now, there are still 9 NFL head coaching openings. All reports are it's a mere formality that Harbaugh will be the Giants coach. But until he signs that contract, there are 9 openings. And one would think next week some dominoes will begin to fall. That's when Liam Cohen got hired. Cohen got hired, I think, on January 23rd, 24th, somewhere around there.
24th.
Was it 24th? That's about right. Because Peterson got fired on January 6th. Balky lasted an additional, I think, 16 days. So Balky was out the door on the 22nd, and Cohen got hired on the 24th. We sit here on January the 16th. So I would imagine a lot of these coaching openings, some dominoes will begin falling next week. As far as this weekend, AFC Divisional Playoff, NFC Divisional Playoff. I think one of the 1 seeds is going to lose tomorrow. And I'm going to say it's Seattle. There's issues with Sam Darnold. Is he going to play? If he does play, how healthy is he? San Francisco's got a lot of momentum coming off that win in Philadelphia. I think one of the 1 seeds goes down. I'm going to say it happens on the NFC side. Give me San Francisco over Seattle. I do think Denver will be too much for Buffalo, just because Buffalo on a short week after that battle here against the Jaguars, playing with a lot of injured guys. Denver coming off a bye week. Denver's only lost 1 time at home, dating back to October of 2024. And that, of course, was to Jacksonville. I think Denver gets it done. So tomorrow, give me Denver and San Francisco. On Sunday, look, Texans-Patriots, I love both defenses, but I don't love the fact that Nico Collins isn't playing. Houston's offense already has struggles as is, and you take away literally their best skill position player. Collins still in concussion protocol, has already been ruled out. I don't know if Houston will be able to overcome that. So I will take New England in what should be a defensive slugfest in Foxborough. And then Sunday night, it's going to be appointment viewing. It is going to be bitterly cold. They're saying in Chicago for the Rams and the Bears. Both teams survived last week. Rams survived Carolina. Bears had that crazy comeback to beat Green Bay. Both teams at this point probably think their team is a team of destiny. I did think one of the interesting subplots Ben Johnson in the postgame locker room last week. We all know about the blank the Packers, blank the coaching staff. I didn't realize this. I heard Peter Schrager talk about it. Matt LaFleur's brother, the coach Green Bay, his brother is on the Rams staff. And apparently Sean McVay is like best friends with Matt LaFleur. So maybe a little redemption, a little revenge on the minds of the Rams coaches to get back at Ben Johnson. A little subplot for Sunday night. But I will take the Rams and I will take the Patriots on Sunday. So if my scenario unfolds, AFC title game will be Patriots at Broncos. NFC title game will be 49ers at Rams. That's this weekend. Coming up on Monday night is the college football national championship. That's where our attention goes next. Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. Let's talk about the job Mario Cristobal has done. What would a title mean to the U here in 2026? And what about them playing for that title on their home field? We'll preview Miami and Indiana. Adam Lichtenstein of the Sun-Sentinel next on a Friday night heading into a big football weekend. We're glad you're with us. It's Hacker After Dark.
He's our Big Mac.
Woo! It's Smash Mouth football, baby!
Tom McManus brings his big opinions to Jaguars Today.
Every Friday morning at 10 a.m. on 1010 XL.
Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 16, 2019, Golden State guard Steph Curry becomes the first player in NBA history to hit 8+ three-pointers in 3 consecutive games.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, is that a turtleneck? Can't you feel it, Jason? There's a chill in the air, a definite nip. I mean, it is January. In Jacksonville, Jason. I didn't come here for cold. Well, I wouldn't call this. Cold weather gives me the sniffles. Sniffles turns to pneumonia. Suddenly, I'm in a hospital bed with a tube down my throat because Florida didn't get the memo about ignoring winter. So, switch over to heat. What if my system can't remember how to heat? Dude, put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air & Plumbing can make sure your system is ready to switch from cooling to heat. We'll clean your heating coil to get rid of that burning dust smell and make sure you have the coolant pressure to keep your heat pump pumping out the heat. I had no idea these sunglasses worked in the winter.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1